It is Thursday morning and I am live. You know, it is Thankful Thursday. And the thing that I am most thankful for right now is the fact that I have been saying, I think now, for the last month, that I'm going to come over here and do Thankful Thursdays live at 9 a.m. And guess what? I'm here for the first time at 9. It was like almost 10 after 9, but this is the closest I've ever been to that time. And that is something I am so grateful for. Because if you've been keeping up with my Thankful Thursdays and going live, my original goal was to go live every Thursday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And for whatever reasons, I was never able to do so. I would be here on Thursday, but just not at 9 a.m. So I did it finally. So this is the beginning of a new precedent. You know, anything that you want in all circumstances, for this is the will of your Lord Jesus Christ. And that comes out of 18. And I don't think I've ever heard that verse or paid attention to it. When I started talking about, gratitude and verses that correlate with that, it gave me the Psalms, and then it gave me that one. And I had originally planned on going with the Psalms. This is the day that the Lord has made. But when I saw that verse out of Thessalonians, 1 Thessalonians, I was like, you know what? Give thanks for everything, because all of it is God's will. And that hit home because I think it was yesterday, I had this situation happen where this relationship I had came to an end. And I was like, I was upset about it because I thought, I wasn't expecting it. And it's always hurtful. It's almost like a death when a relationship ends. But I remember telling this person, I don't need an apology. I don't need you to say you're sorry. I don't need it. All I'm going to do is just thank God He revealed your true colors to me sooner rather than later. And that's why this verse out of 1 Thessalonians, thank God for everything, because it's part of His will. And when I looked at it from that standpoint, it was like, it was God's will that it wasn't going to be what I thought it was going to be. It was God's will that He protected me, because it hurt right then. But I knew if it had stretched out and gone on longer, and you start making decisions in life based on the idea that this person is going to be a part of your life, that could change the whole course of what you do. And I was thankful. And I think that's why it's been easy for me to move on from it so quickly, because at first I was like, I was sad and upset, but then it's like, okay, it is what it is. Thank you, God, for revealing this to me. I needed to know, but now I feel okay. I feel okay. I'm not as, I've had this happen before where it just took me completely out, but I'm at peace. I have peace, and I also know that God has a plan and a future for me. And you all know that's one of my favorite verses, Jeremiah 29:11. Plans to give you hope and a future. And I feel good about that, because some of us like to hold on to things as if God can't give us something better. God can't replace it with something beyond our expectations. And based on my past experiences, I know for a fact, every time God has taken something from me, he's replaced it with something better. So now I'm excited. I'm looking forward to the future. I'm excited about what's next. I am happy, my path is clear for all these new opportunities, new people I'm gonna meet, all that stuff. And then I think, because at one point I was like, I'm getting old, like it's by 47. But you have to put that in perspective. Now I talk to my aunts, they're in their 80s, like 85 and stuff. They'll tell me, oh, you're just a baby. And even now at 47, I look at people in their 20s, they look like babies to me. So when she says it, it's like, okay, she was like, I would trade places with you any day. That's a 40-year difference. And I thought, if I live to be 90, I got about 50 more years to go. Or 40 years rather, 43. And that's a lot of time to do a lot of things. And it's like, you know what? I'm here. God, keep waking me up to see every day. Keep blessing me to keep going. And I'm going and going and going towards everything he has for me. Because you have to realize the enemy comes to steal your hope, to steal your faith, to have you believing that life is worthless, to have you second guessing what God has for you. That's his whole narrative, is to make you not believe anything the Lord has promised you. Sometimes, we'll fall into that, but you got to remember who God is. Remember who God is, the promises he's made to you, everything he said, and it's written. Not only is it written all throughout the Bible, have faith, have faith, have faith. I'm sure you can look over your own life and remember all the things he's done for you, all the times you thought it was over and you thought, has God given up on me? For him to just show up and, show you who he is, show you that the enemy is a lie. You know it just like I know it. So that's why, I don't feed into it. I try to feed my faith more than I feed my fear and my doubts. And by doing that, my faith increases. That worry goes away. I'm focused. I am, believing God's promise and knowing that he's faithful, his word is true. It's not just something he's telling me, it's real. It is real. God is real. I don't know what in the world. I done got this thing and it ain't working right. How do I lock it? I don't know. But I think that's it. But yeah, so I hope you all enjoy this Thankful Thursday. Thank God for it. And think about what the enemy is trying to attack in your life right now. Think about what he's trying to get you to believe that goes against what God has already promised. I don't want you to face it and confront it. And I want you to rebuke it. I want you to remember who God is and what he does. And I want you to also start to feed your faith. Come up with a script you use to feed it. Every time you get those thoughts of negativity or doubt, you know, you gotta shut that down immediately. You gotta be ready, you gotta be prepared, you gotta understand that your voice has power given to you by God. One of the things I like to do when I start to say, something I want to do, and it's like, well, how are you going to get it done? You haven't done this before. What if somebody is better? Why do you think you can do it? You're just going to fail. You're not good enough. I just reverse it. I'm good enough. God wouldn't have brought me to this situation if he wasn't prepared to see me through. I have everything I need to proceed. God will bring the right resources and people into my life to help me along the way. I have nothing to fear. I'm capable. God has prepared me, and he will continue to prepare me. Anything that comes to me is because it's God's will, and I have what it takes, and I'm more than a conqueror with God. I say it every time, and I just repeat it and repeat it until usually my mind starts to wander to something else. But that's a way to just reprogram your mind to shut down that negative talk, that doubt, that enemy, the discourse, and just fear that the devil, the enemy, comes to make you give up and lose hope. Because it's not real. It's not real. You start to believe in it, it's real. But then you believe in God's promise. That's real too. That's even more real. And I believe God over anything and anyone. I don't care what anybody says. You are not God. You don't dictate my life. You have no saying that can override what God has already told me and what God has written, that has stood centuries, that stood the test of time. You don't have it. And people will try their best. And the thing is, people talk about being humble. Humble yourself. You're thinking too highly of yourself. My thing is this. You need to humble yourself. Who are you to think that God appointed you as the humble police? Because now you're placing yourself on the level of God. You don't know what people talk to in private about with God. You don't know what anyone's personal relationship with God. So just because you don't see it doesn't mean it don't exist. And a lot of times when we're on the outside looking in, we're making assumptions off of limited information. And the presumption is you know everything, as if you are omniscient and omnipresent, the same as God. And no one is. So that's the area where many people need to humble themselves, truth be told. But that's a whole nother conversation. So this is what I do every morning. Try to walk me about 5 or 6 miles. And I'm almost at 3. So trying to walk and use my little thing. I got to figure out how to do this better live. But thank you all. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. And I would really appreciate your help. I'm almost there. I think I need maybe 150 more, but it's coming along. I keep showing up, being consistent, doing my part, let God do the rest. And I'll be there before you know it. And you'll see my lovely face as often as possible. If you want to, all you have to do is just hit that notification bell. And be sure to follow me on all social media platforms at I am Jamila Naila.com, or just I am Jamila Naila. My website is IamJamilaNaila.com. So check that out. Y'all take care, stay safe, be blessed, and I will see you soon. Bye.